Ahead of President Jacob Zuma's second State of the Nation's address this Thursday, the Mail and Garden caught up with a few South Africans and asked them what they expect from our president. What do you expect to hear from the State of the Nation's address regarding jobs and job creation?
We're expecting to hear a lot of the same kind of rhetoric which we've heard both from the ANC and from the government.
I believe he's going to make a lot of promises, but I also know that a lot of businesses have become insolvent. Therefore, there's not enough businesses to create jobs for everyone.
Well, that's a difficult question. I don't think they really understand how to do it. I think we've got a problem here in that clearly you have to create the best work you can and the best working conditions, but at the same time our labour market is too rigid. So I think he's caught in the horns of a dilemma.
I'm hoping for change, more change, because it's been all talk and no action at all.
Well, for me, my absolute passion is education. Without literacy and without education, it's absolutely impossible to get a job. But I do understand that the two go hand in hand, because without a job, you can't afford to educate your children. So it's a bit of a vicious circle.
I'm expecting that he'll probably announce more expanded public works program jobs. So a lot more short-term job contracts.
Do you have any suggestions on how the government should tackle this job creation and job issue in the country?
I think that they're on the right track. A new growth path has its merits. It's not all entirely rubbish, but he hasn't told us how he's going to pay for this. We don't know, and nobody has told us. Even the Economic Development Minister hasn't told us how this is going to be paid. So if he could convince me on that point, I'd be very happy.
I think they should loosen up some of the labour laws, perhaps have a two-tier labour system like they have in certain states in the United States, where you have what are called right-to-work states, where unions are legal and exist and are powerful, but at the same time you cannot be stopped working if you don't belong to a union.
The approach at the moment seems to be reasonably sensible. First, find ways to put people into jobs, whether that is through this green economy initiative, whether it's simply through more expanded public works. It doesn't particularly matter. Simply getting people into the start of that conveyor belt. And then the education approach does seem to be paying off to some extent. We have this extraordinary large group of unemployed people. We have massive demand for skilled jobs in certain professions, and we're finally seeing that people are getting educated into those positions.
I think that they should allow more foreign investors to come here, then invest in this country, then create jobs for other people.
And what else would you like him to focus on in this speech?
I'd really, really, really like him to sort out the complete mess that we've made of electricity planning so far. I want the draft integrated resource plan to be completely scrapped and replaced with a new process.
If only he could come out and actually tell us that government is going to be fixed the way it actually runs, because we have had improvements under the ANC government, but imagine how much more it could have been if government actually worked properly.
I think more than anything, the arts as well, get more involved in arts, because you find people, there's a lot of talent as well, and I think government is not looking into the arts perspective of things.
Well, of course, crime. We're all very worried about that. I think he's providing relatively good leadership as uniting the nation. I think he's doing quite well on that. But clearly, obviously, if we get more jobs, we'll have less crime. That's obvious.
Crime, definitely crime. So we'll be able to walk around anywhere freely. Definitely crime, eh?
And are you expecting to hear anything new at all from the speech?
No.
No.
I don't know if I have high hopes, to tell the truth.
You know what? There might be some excitement around the national healthcare plan. There might be something in terms of AU diplomacy and South Africa's role on the continent. But no, we're not expecting a startling crossing the Rubicon type speech.